And in today's episode, I want to briefly tell you the reasons why I decided to be an entrepreneur, or if you like, the reason why I decided to be a businessman. I grew up from a very, very large family. My mother was a teacher, and the major problem was that while I was growing up, my father was a civil servant, my mother was a teacher, and I had one very striking experience, I think at the age of 11, when I realized or I noticed that my mom was depending on somebody that was close by who was an illiterate. Remember, I told you my mother was a teacher and my father was a civil servant. They were both earning salaries at the end of the month. They were working for government. But there was this young man that was living close to our house. The guy was an electrician. So we were literally depending on this guy to survive. So before the month end, the salary that was given to my mom and my dad was already exhausted. So this young man who did not go to school, who was not schooled, did not pass through the 4 walls of the classroom, he was the one lending money to my dad and to my mom every month. So I started asking myself questions. Okay, how would somebody who did not go to school be lending money to my mom and my dad who were schooled and they were working for the government? So that was what triggered or aroused my interest to become a businessman. At that very early age, I made up my mind that I wasn't going to work for government. Okay, at that very stage, I decided to develop this kind of detest for working for government. Okay, now fast forward to during my university days, I was already going to Benin Republic, which is Cotonou in those days, the early 2000s, to buy shoes, used shoes, and bring them to school to sell. I had also gone to the northern part of the country where they call Otukpa. I know some of you who are from Benin State, you know Otukpa very well. I will go there, I will buy food items, this obono that you know, I'll buy obono, I will take it to Lagos and go to sell them. I have a market where I go, they call it Ido Market. So I used to go to Otukpa. Otukpa is in Benin State. I will buy obono there. I will buy it in bags. I will take them to Lagos at Ido Market where I will sell the obono. So after that particular business, I went into snail farming and poultry farming because I attended the School of Agriculture. Okay, so I had good knowledge. I also have good knowledge in agriculture. So I started snail farming and poultry farming. I was the first person in Delta State to start a snail farm in Delta State. I made some research and also read some books. At the end of the day, after that snail farming, I also went into food processing. I started processing crayfish, I started processing egusi. I would grind it. After grinding it, I will package it and started selling. The reason why I did all this is because I wanted to make my life different. Okay, I have sold so many things. I have told you how many things I have sold in my life. I have told you how many places I have been to because I wanted a change of story. Do you understand? So I have been there, I have suffered. I did not grow up being a big man. Today, by the grace of God, I can afford what I want to eat. I can afford good clothing. I can afford good shelter over my head. I have my children. They are going to good schools. Okay, I have money to support people I want to support. But I did not start here. Okay, I have struggled through life. I've told you some places I've been to. If you want a complete detail of the kind of businesses I have done in my life, I can send them to you. Okay, but what I want you to understand is that I was also a very, very poor person. I was living in a one-room apartment for several years. That one-room apartment had holes all over the walls. Okay, all my equipment that I was using to produce were in the one room. I was literally living there and producing everything. I was running my farm from that one-room apartment. So it is important for you to understand that if your story has to change, if you have to live where you are, this place of mediocrity, this place of lack, the place of want, okay? If you want to live here to the place where you want a place of abundance, you need to take that decision. And what is that decision? The decision to start a business. That is the critical factor. it is important that if you want to live where you are today, if you are struggling, you are not able to meet your human basic necessities, you don't have money to do anything, okay, you are dependent on people, you are begging from here and there. Sometimes you call people, they don't take your calls because they feel you are coming or you are calling to beg. If you must live there, today you must decide that you have to start a business. And it is simple, okay? In our next episode, I am going to tell you how you can start your business even if you don't have capital. But until then, ciao. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video or you find this video very valuable, we encourage you to share, like, comment, and engage in the comment section. And also follow us in all our social media platforms that will be displayed on the screen.